Thank you. Look, to create on-island education and training and all of those kind of things, I think there are opportunities. I think in the first instance, we need to look at some of the remote education type opportunities that exist currently that can be used on the island. So there are lots of ways that people can enhance their job prospects, enhance their skill sets, and do all of those things through education and training. And those programs are in place. And things like, and I know it sounds obscene, or absurd, sorry, but School of the Air and things like that, distance education. There are students currently on this island who are actually using those programs online to, they're doing some homeschooling here on the island, again, because of the pressures of travel and transport circumstances. So those opportunities are there, and we need to probably maximise them, enhance them, but more importantly, how many of you knew that School of the Air was actually functioning within the Bay Island community? Okay, 3 of you. We need to get that word out that there are those opportunities. The recreational boating infrastructure and low-key ecotourism, I think very much how we resolve Wynam Creek and the other transport issues will depend on how viable ecotourism or any tourism is on the islands. Because can I tell you, it's not an appealing thing to drive down to Wynam Creek to find a car park, and if you do find one, odds on you'd almost certainly get a parking ticket if you're in the wrong spot. And you've been out here, you've enjoyed a day on the island. So we need to address all of those issues, but I think there are opportunities, and I know that certainly, and can I use you as an example here, when I was on council, and these are largely council-related issues, I think council has probably lost a little focus. I'm not conceited enough to say since I left, but they actually blocked an ecotourism resort that was planned for this island. It's one that I'm on the record, I voted for it as a councillor, and they're missing those opportunities. It seems this council stifles the economic development on the islands through business. And another classic example, I think Ian is still at war with council over his shopping centre. It's just ludicrous, and I've got to tell you hand on heart, that shopping centre, and I'm not saying it because he's here, I'd say it anyway, is the best thing that ever happened to these islands here. It's made the island more livable, as you pointed out, Evan, so that you don't need to travel. But council needs to just start getting out of the way. The state government has allowed councils to be in large measure their own masters of their own destiny, and they've invented all these overlays that all they do is actually tell you how not to allow something to happen instead of allowing things to happen. So the ecotourism can happen on the islands, but council needs to change its mindset. It needs to change its mindset with the daycare centre that's currently, got a world of hurt. It's taken more than enough money and more than enough time to get the daycare centre on the island. They're areas where I think the state needs to review the planning mechanisms, and that's something we're on the record. We're looking at reviewing the urban footprint, the planning mechanisms and measures. Some of these things take far too long. They're the things that will actually help benefit this island. They're the things that will help improve your life, and they're the things that I'll be fighting for. On question, .3, the small business development, it's exactly that same thing. Councils need to be a little more flexible if they're to create employment opportunities on the island.